all of you to Vanamali Ashram. So glad to see you all again. Yeah. Some familiar faces I think. Do we have not too many. Okay. Anyway, what do you all have in your mind today? Any questions? Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us when you first about your life, where you're from.
No, just leave my life alone.
You
It's
could tell
not
us.
going to help you. What you should do is ask, everybody asks this question, I always tell them, you have some problems in your life. Go ask questions about that, and then try to get answers for that, because that's more important than my life.
Mataji, how about someone that works very hard and has the challenge to embrace their dharma, embrace that work? How does one accept what life has given them on a deep level?
Yeah.
Sometimes they feel torn between they have to do this in the world and they have a spiritual calling. How can we reconcile?
That's because you've made a demarcation between spiritual and secular. And there is no such demarcation. Life cannot be separated like that. There's unity in life. Everything is spiritual. Everything is divine. There's nothing which, there's that demarcation between world and God. That is the worst thing for a spiritual person. Never do that, because there is only one force. Whether you are eating spaghetti or you are saying your mantra, the same force. Okay? Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us when you first met Swami Kriyananda?
Yeah. He was staying across the river, and I think Anil had told us to go and meet him. We went there and we met him, and of course we fell for him. Then he agreed to come here, and Mohan brought him across the river on his scooter. So after that, we went. Every time we got an opportunity, we would meet him. And he's the one who wrote the foreword to the Sri Devi Leela, one of the Vanamali books. Yeah. But as I said again, do talk about your own needs. That'll be more to the point, and you won't be wasting your time unnecessarily, because I think that is a good question you asked. Yeah.
If you had to pass one lesson or experience to us, what would it be?
Think of God all the time. very, very easy. Whatever you see, do, hear, touch, all the senses, just offer it to Him. That's the best. Okay. Yeah.
Going back to the first question, how do I do that?
What?
How do I not...
Compartmentalize.
Yeah.
She's asking how she should not compartmentalize her life. Now, the thing is, this compartmentalization is in our mind. We think this is me and that's the world outside. But you see, in Hinduism, actually, there is only one truth, one supreme force, which exists in everything, not just in every human being, but in everything. And that force is known as Brahman. I don't know whether you've gone through this, but that force is known as Brahman. And because that is in everything, it's in us also. But that force in us, just in order for the mind to understand, we call this the Atman. The Atman, the Brahman. But the Brahman is only the utmost magnitude of the Atman. There's no difference. There is no difference. It's there in everything. That this is a key point you have to understand. There is nothing called, we are seeing everything as duality. Everything. There's the object here and subject me. That who is creating that? Your mind. Even modern science has come to that, agreed to that they say that what you think of as matter, solid matter, doesn't exist at all. It exists only in your mind. What do they say? E equals mc squared. Matter is only energy in motion. So where does the matter exist? In your mind. Actually, it doesn't exist at all. And this is what the rishis said, that what they call Maya. Why do they say Maya? Because they said Maya, Ma. Ya means what doesn't exist. They call it Maya because your mind is creating a world which actually does not exist, which today quantum physics has proved to be true. They are giving you a solid objects out there which actually is only energy in motion. In fact, Max Planck, in one of his famous things, he says, I have realized that every object, everything that we see is an atom made up of atoms, which are with a little nucleus with energy going round. So what is actually matter inside that? The whole thing is made up of atoms and other things, and with a little, there's a nucleus with energy going round, 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 round. So where is the matter? Or shall I say, what is the matter with us? That we see matter when nothing exists, when everything is non-matter. Everything is energy, everything is spiritual. So that understanding, intellectual concept should be removed from our mind. We have been taught to believe that there is a world outside somewhere, horribly inimical to you. There's a God somewhere sitting up and watching us. What's she doing? Now, what is that? What is that? And here we are between these two forces, not knowing what we should do. There is no two forces at all. Only that one single, supreme power, which is in everything, from the stars and the planets to that little earthworm digging his way through the mud. The same force. What is it? What gives that power to that earthworm is the same power which makes the planets go round. It's like, to give you some example, it's very difficult for the mind to grasp. And energy, like electricity is an energy. Electricity. Now, electricity is everywhere, but you can't see it. You can't touch it unless you go and catch a wire. But then you will know immediately that what electricity is. But the fact is, it goes and gives us different forms of itself. In the fan, it gives us wind, breeze. In the heater, it gives us heat. In the refrigerator, it gives us cold. In the electric chair, it gives us death. In the surgeon's hands, it gives us life. So the electricity is one, the power is one, but it manifests in various ways, in contrary ways, opposite ways actually. That if you think of that, then some idea you have, because very difficult otherwise for the human mind to imagine a force which is formless, spaceless, timeless. No, where is the mind? What does the mind do now when it's formless, spaceless and timeless? So because the mind can only think of in the nama, rupa, that means name and form. Everything has to be tabulated, this, that, everything in it. So we cannot think. So this is the sort of quantum leap that we are asked to make, to realize. But as I tell, Western science is slowly coming to it. They are saying that there's consciousness alone exists, which we have been saying for centuries past. So that consciousness, which they gave it a name actually, because you cannot know it, so they gave it a name, saying that is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda means Sat means existence. It is existence. For sure it's existing. If it did not exist, nothing else will exist. Because it exists, everything else exists. So it's pure existence. Pure existence. Then Chit means conscious. It is brimming, it's just pure consciousness, pure consciousness. It's not conscious of or something. It is pure consciousness. Because it is pure consciousness, we are all conscious of other things. Okay? And it's bliss. Bliss means Ananda. For that there is no duality. Everything that anything. Now all of us, all the animals, everything go towards something or other. Because why? They get some sort of pleasure out of it. Everything moves towards the sun. If you put a flower here, the sun is there, slowly, 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 you will find she is turned around. So everything moves towards that bliss. So that these are the three ways. You really can't the words can never express something which is beyond words, beyond time, beyond space, as I said. So just in order to have some idea, vague idea, they gave us these three words. So this understanding is basic to the understanding of Hinduism. This is basic. Because the concept of God in Hinduism and the concept of God in other religions, totally different. Concept of God in all other religions of some human, usually it's some human form, and somewhere apart from us, away from us. It's an object of our consciousness, whereas here we say it is a supreme subject. If it was not conscious, I would not be conscious of anything else. Because it is conscious, I am conscious of everything else. So the concept of God in Hinduism is a totally different thing. It's a very, very evolved method, and that's why most people who came couldn't grasp it. The conquerors couldn't grasp it because they could only grasp something which, the name, form, and somewhere on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
On the topic of consciousness, if an objective is to increase our ability to get clarity from God, deepen our meditation, can you give us some tips on maybe what you do to increase that ability to hear?
Because the ability doesn't come from there. You are saying God and something. We always think that. That is that again I'm saying that's a totally wrong concept. If there is a God, it must be here and now and in me. What is the use of a God for me who stays in heaven and I have to die out and doing, if I do some good deeds, I may or may not find him in heaven. Who knows? Who's ever come back and told me I've met Mr. God? Nobody has done that so far. So, the first thing you have to understand, there is no such thing outside you. If it exists in you. That's why in meditation we close our eyes, because we shut out that, the so-called existence outside. Now, I think you're all another group, isn't it? You're doing Kriya Yoga and stuff like that. So, I think Paramahamsa Yogananda said Kriya Yoga is the jet flight to other. So you're on a jet flight. Why ask me?
Master talks about if you're often in this lifetime put together with family members that you were enemies with the past life to fight it out in this lifetime. How do you relate to the people who are challenges in your life to permanently allow that to move on, to not cycle back again?
See, life will always have, it's a life of duality, world is life. There will be someone who are inimical to you, at the same time you'll have someone who is loving also. This happens everywhere. I mean, you have to accept that. Some people are inimical and maybe they've come into your life to somehow, patch up something unfinished in a previous life. You might have been hurt them so badly then. They've come back to hurt you now. Because something which goes down has to come around. It's a purely the law. It's a very scientific law. Every law of karma is the third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So now it has come back. Now what happens if you keep on reacting to them again? Then again the next cycle will happen. Again they will be born with you. So best bet is to try and patch it up them right in this life. But once and for all you're done with them now. And then you don't have to carry that burden into your next life. So
if you find peace with it and they don't find peace with it,
that's their luck. I mean, that's their problem, really. So you do your best. You do your best. But that doesn't mean that you have to sit down and meekly take, if they shout at you and they hit you and maybe even have physical violence. That doesn't mean that at all. It means that you certainly have to stand up for yourself. You can give them back, but without hatred. That's the whole point. Because it is the mental attitude that is judged by that law, not the physical. The physical, maybe you might have to punish a child by even beating it. But the mother does it with love. So it's not the action itself which is important, but the attitude in the human being. So you don't take it lying down. I'm never saying that. It's not correct, it's not fair. And it will only make the ego boost, which is not going to do any good for them either. So, but you can, definitely, but preferably try for amicable, settlement. And if it doesn't work, well, then you have to protect yourself. But without hatred, that's the whole point. Without hatred, because they are also helpless in a way. They are also caught up in their web of karma thing, so they also can't help. So if you can settle it with amicably, without hatred, even it means if using force sometimes, it doesn't matter, or strong words, but with this attitude that I still love them, I wish the best for them. Okay. Yeah?
Can I ask a question about Surya Namaskar?
Sweetness, yeah, sure.
How does it tell from the spiritual path?
The sun is the source of all light. Actually, the sun is called the Pratyaksha Devata. We can't see God, but we can see the sun. And we are a solar-powered planet. Without the sun, we will not live. So isn't he very close to God? Without the sun, we will never live. This whole planet will perish. If the sun just refused to come out, for a few seconds even we'll freeze up. It's strange, but we don't realize that. It's just totally a solar-powered planet. So praying to the sun is almost as if you're praying to God, which you can't see anywhere. Because of course the power that makes that solar orb so powerful is that power which is in us also. But when we invoke that power of that sun in us, it has amazing benefits is what they found out. So, and with the names of the sun, and then the Gayatri mantra also, that's why the Gayatri mantra is the greatest mantra in the Vedas. So that, the intelligence, the consciousness, the beauty, everything. And of course, apart from that, it's good for the eyes. It helps in the eyes. And memory. Gayatri also helps in memory. So apart from the physical health, spiritually also, the solar sun is not just a physical object, but it is capable of giving us an amazing amount of spiritual benefit also. Because of the very fact that it gives us life. If it was not there, we wouldn't be alive. Okay? So Surya Namaskar is a must. I always ask everybody to do Surya Namaskar every day. The 12 postures and with the 12 names, and he's an expert on that. He's got online classes on the Surya Namaskar. You can give this thing to them. So it's very good to do this. All, not only spiritually, but also physically, mentally, it will help you a lot. Yeah.
We're talking about yamas and niyamas. We're talking about attachments. How is the best way to work with our relatives, like sons, fathers?
Say it clearly, dear. Yes, say it clearly.
Can I help?
English is
Yeah?
How to work with attachments, Mataji,
Yeah.
family members?
Sons,
How to work?
Your sons.
Yeah.
She has a son.
Yeah. Once you're a mother, you're finished. Yeah? There's no hope for you. No hope for you. Umbilical cord is never cut. Anyway, never mind. Whatever attachments, other things I can say that once we have done our duty to them, our children also, once we have done that, give them a good education, give them a good background, a solid background during the childhood. That is the most important thing a mother can do. Childhood is the most important thing, and a child who has a pure and loving childhood will definitely be a much better individual than one who comes from a fractured and household and who never gets on with a mother, and that is one of the worst things for a child. So the one thing you can do for them, because that is your duty, that's part of your spiritual duty also. You were made into a mother for a certain reason, that soul has come into your womb for a certain reason. So you have to nurture it, especially during childhood. Very, very important. It starts from the womb itself. It's very important. From the womb itself, we have many practices actually. We have a lot of yogas and stuff for that. And eventually that child will be, and because you are doing the greatest thing you can do to the humanity really. If you provide, if you give a good, totally self-integrated into individual to this world, this is a great offering here, because of that universe which has given us so much. This is each woman has this ability to offer back a really good individual who will help society, who will be a boon to society and not a bane to it. So it's a very important task for a mother. But of course, as I said, the attachment will always be there, but you don't have to keep on after it. Keep it within you, because after some time they don't need you. Learn from the birds. Once they learn to fly, push them out of the nest. Okay, but not that you not that you, of course, you cut off. We can't, as I said, no mother can ever cut off totally, but definitely we can stop being, clinging on to them. Emotional clinging. That is also, they don't like it. So you can pray for them, do whatever you like for them, but give them freedom to fly to where they like. That's also important, because your major work is finished when they reach about teens, let's say. Sorry, did you want a chair or something?
No, I only am standing a little bit.
Okay. Otherwise, we can get a chair for you downstairs.
I just
Yeah. Okay.
stand and then I.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Have you completed that? Sorry, she must be upset. Okay. Yeah.
For someone who is challenged in quieting the noise in their mind, how do they silence that to tune in?
I beg your pardon. Who's challenged in the
Quieting the noise of the mind.
chattering mind, you mean?
How do they silence the noise and just trust and tune in to divine intuition?
You mean are you talking about the mind which is always chattering, you mean? Is that the noise you're talking about?
Yes, in different opposing directions.
Matlab, what do you mean by opposing directions?
Like, hey, you should do this. No, wait, you should do that.
Okay.
But wait, what about this?
That is a confused mind, and we all have it, unless you do sadhana. Very important. That's why I keep on insisting that everybody does sadhana. The body and the mind has to be kept in control, because the body and the mind are the ones which are the strongest factors which pull you down to the earth. So unless they are in control, you can never spiritually advance. So for the body, and I always go back to Patanjali, who was the greatest psychologist to be born on this earth till today. Even Freud and this, what's his name, took from him. And they didn't admit it either, but they didn't give credit, but they did really take from him. So his Ashtanga Yoga, 8 limbs of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, it's called. That even today is applicable to every human individual. That is, first of all, before you start on any spiritual activity, what you have, yamas and niyamas. What are they? Yamas are the way you treat the world, niyamas the way you treat yourself. So there is a cosmic law. The whole cosmos runs on something called dharma. It's a fundamental law of the universe. What is the fundamental law of the universe? That every creature, everything in this world, in this cosmos, has equal right to live its own life as it wants. And we are not the only creatures which God made. If He did make anything at all, I don't think He made anything. Anyway, so this, we think we are the only ones who have a right to demand anything from this universe, which is not true. So this is the confusion in the mind always. Number one, we think we are the greatest. So then, when we don't get what we want, there's one side of our mind going like that. Then another side gets what, then that's confusion arises. Constant confusion. So first of all, you should learn how to deal with external world. That is to say, try to give others equal opportunities. Everybody wants equal opportunities as you want. I want certain things. Equally, everybody else wants the same thing. We are all human beings. You understand? Not only for the human beings, other things. Even the dog likes to have what he wants. Even the little ant wants, he knows exactly what he wants. He'll go straight for the sugar. But unlike the human being, he'll call all his friends. Come on, bits of sugar here. The moment a human being gets something, gold or something, quickly hide and keep it. Never will he tell anybody else about it. The ant is not like that. So then we have to have some, what should I say, feeling of compassion for the whole of the universe. That is the first thing before you start your own spirituality. That is spirituality, in fact. Then into your own self. Own self, of course, keep your body and mind clean and so on. Now, you may say very difficult to keep the mind clean. We are coming to that. Anyway, we try. And then for starting sadhana, his next step was asanas, yogasanas. Yogasanas for the body, because the body is one of the most grossest portion of ours, and it is very demanding. It's very demanding. It will insist that you give it what it wants. So you have, in order to get it under control, you will practice yogasana. Some sort of, she was showing, Surya Namaskar is one of the best, really. Even if you can only do the 12 postures of Surya Namaskar every day, you don't have time for anything else. Even that is one of the best. Okay? So you keep your body under control. At the same, next is it mind. The mind and breath are very, very closely connected. You know, when the breath is, when you're angry or fearful, breath is fast and furious. So, and when you concentrate, breath is kept. A person walking on a tightrope actually must be holding their breath. They can't do it otherwise. So, this we are given pranayama, breath control. Pranayama for mind control. Because you control your breath, you control your mind. So, first of all, control of the body, next the control of the mind, and next thing I always also advocate some mantra japa. If you don't have mantra, it's okay, leave that. But even pranayama is okay. Then after that only can you sit for meditation. And you practice your Kriya Yoga, whatever you do. But before that, these two are very important. Both the asanas for body control and pranayama for mind control. And then you can start for meditation. So after having practiced, don't say, I've been practicing, I don't get anything out of it. My mind is very confused. How many days, how long have you been practicing? Well, I've been practicing this whole week, you know. I mean, some people may practice for the whole year, even if they will not. Because how much time are you willing to give? You want to learn, say, the violin. How much time do you have to give it before you become an expert in playing and the neighbors stop complaining? Takes a long time, no? Isn't it? So, this is a man-making, what shall I say, lesson. Not an ordinary physical lesson. So, are you prepared to give some time to this? You have to be prepared. Otherwise, you won't get what you want, that's all. Okay? So, sadhana every day, get up in the morning, wash your face, sit down, do your asanas, do your pranayam, do your japa, do whatever Kriya Yoga you're supposed to do. Every day, without fail. For the rest of your life, as long as you can do it. Okay, then ask this question. Come in 1 year, if you've been after practicing this for 1 year, come back and ask me this question. If I'm alive, that is, of course. So it's not an easy joke. Mind is a confused creature. All of us, when have we ever tried to control our mind? Never. We have been taught many things in school, but we have never been taught how to sit still or to keep your mind under control. That's the most important thing for any child, any human being. But they don't teach us in schools. So you have to learn that. You have to do that, practice it. That's why we have many yogas, many types of yogas, many types of sadhanas, in order to get the mind under control. Because in the human being, the mind is the sole reason. It can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. Okay. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo is what they say. Mana eva manushya, in the human being, the only cause of misery and happiness is the mind. Yeah?
I'll follow up on Tony's question. So, I've been meditating for several years, fairly regularly, and so yeah. Can you say a little bit more about quieting the mind during meditation? Because it's not the senses, the outward senses, that distract me. During meditation, it's the thoughts that keep coming.
Well, that's just what I said. You can't sit for meditation all of a sudden and then expect the mind to be quiet. You have to practice this. It's a gradual practice.
Even after 10 years.
Have you done that gradual thing for 10 years? Have you done all this yama, niyama, asana, pranayama?
Not perfect.
Then how would you expect?
Pretty consistent.
You've done pranayama?
Yeah, we do breathing before our exercise, before our meditations.
What sort of breathing?
Sadhana. We do, let's
We
see,
all breathe. I mean, we
12
have to breathe. We all breathe.
12 counts of box breathing.
What breathing?
Equal count
Equal
breathing.
count breathing, thank you. So,
Alternate?
Triangle breath.
Oh, alternate? No alternate. No. Alternate breathing? No.
just sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know much about it, but I mean, the very fact that you've been practicing for so many years and with no shows that this is not the correct technique, I would say. Because pranayama, even anulom vilom, that is alternate breathing for 5 to 10 minutes at least. Very, very important. That is something which immediately makes the mind tranquil. Immediately. Because you just cannot be angry and breathe slowly. Just impossible. So then that has to be practiced. 5-10 minutes, I say he will give you this thing. He's holding online classes. They're very, very important. For mind pranayama, for the body, have you been practicing some asanas? What asanas do you practice?
So not everyday asanas.
And now we come to the crux of the matter. Yeah.
Energization exercises.
No, exercises are no good. Gym and all that, no good. I'm sorry to say, but you know why? I'll tell you. It's a very simple thing. I mean, what is it that keeps us alive, really? And when does the doctor say you are dead? When he finds that the man is not breathing anymore. So he's dead. Actually, he's not dead when the breath alone goes. But anyway, that's the doctor's view. That when you put a glass or something and it doesn't smoke over, and then he says he's dead. So what is the most important thing which is keeping you alive? Prana. So that prana has to be kept inside all the time. It should not be violently put, something cardiovascular, something blah blah, which they say you run hard and you have to do gym and this and that. That is all rubbish. I mean, maybe it makes you feel a bit good at that time, but in the long run, athletes have very short lifetimes actually, because their prana is constantly pushing out. Prana should be retained as much as possible. In fact, we should say that a person's life is not to be counted in the number of years that she has lived, but the number of breaths that she has. That's why a tortoise whose breathing rate is very, very slow lives a very long life. I'm not saying that you want to be a tortoise, but still, I'm just giving that as an example. So all these other exercises are not good. I'm sorry, but that is my opinion. You can take it or leave it. And it's not my opinion. I have no opinions of my own. It's what is written in our texts and so on and so forth. So prana should be retained. That is a very important thing. Only then the mind can be controlled. And only in a controlled mind can you ever even dream of meditating. Otherwise, you'll be meditating all sorts of other things. What's going to happen tomorrow? What's for lunch tonight, this evening, and so on. Yeah.
As I know, all this process of the life is to be awake and remember. Our soul reminds who we are. So, could you explain to us how is this process to take care of all this delusion of the life has been going on your own experience?
How the illusion is there? How did you get into this illusion? What do you say? What exactly? What? Anyone can?
Yes.
Yeah.
How our soul is being remember who we are on the process that will
take away the
all the
illusion. Because somehow for some reason or other we have identified ourselves with the body, mind and intellect. When I say who are you, you will say I'm so and so, and please describe yourself to me. When I see you get brown eyes, black hair, some nice nails and something like that. What are you describing? Your body. So automatically we are identifying ourselves with the body, mind, intellect. We always are. And the first step to spirituality is to disidentify yourself with the body, mind, intellect. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. Then what am I? I have to find that out. What am I? Who am I? Now what is that I am talking about? So that you have to think. Let us make it very simple for you. Supposing you're all here and we are all here, we're seeing each other. Suppose you go to sleep here. You sleep here and you have some dreams. Some monkeys are chasing you, a very common thing here, monkeys do. So, and you are running and screaming for life. And then suddenly, out of sheer exhaustion, you fall asleep. Then after something, you wake up and you tell your friend, I had a terrible dream, that huge fat monkey was chasing me. Then after that, thank God, I went to sleep and I had such a lovely sleep. So there was some I over there who was watching the dream, and the same I was watching the deep sleep. And that same I is now telling me that I had a dream and a sleep. Same I. So the only thing which was real in all these three states was that I. So who is that I? Because that I must be the real me. Because in the deep sleep and in the other thing, I didn't even know I had a body. It was not the body which was dreaming. It was maybe the mind. But still, it was something was other than the mind was watching that mind dreaming. Because when you woke up, that I could say, I had a bad dream. So there was one I which was there all the time. And that I was also watching the deep sleep. Because you say, I had such a lovely sleep, you don't know, it was so nice. So that is your real I. Not this body, mind, intellect system which you call yourself as me. That body, mind, intellect system is your personality, let us call it. Let us give it a name. Your body, mind, intellect system is your personality, which is obvious to everybody else. But the real I is the one who is watching this body, mind, intellect moving around. Understand? That is your real I. So unless and until you realize that, you will be tossed about on the duality of the world. Because when it's cold, so cold, let me give you something. When it's hot, where's the fan, where's this thing? When you are, somebody gives you bad news, terrible. Somebody brings you, wonderful. So the body system, the mind system, always on the duality, always. So as long as you believe that you are this body, mind, intellect system, you will forever be on the seesaw of duality. You will not escape. So until the first step in spirituality is to disassociate yourself with that body, mind, intellect. It has to be given a certain amount of, you have to keep your body clean. That's why the niyamas I told you, you have to keep your body, keep it in a good state of health. But remember that it's not the real you. You are something totally different. Because, and another thing, the fear of death, for instance, is all because we are totally thinking I'm the body. So that if I'm always frightened, when will I die, when will I die? Because what is going to die? Your body. That body will definitely die because anything that came into existence at one spot in space and time will automatically have to come to an end in another spot in space and time. Even if it's a vase, even if it's an elephant, whatever it is, even if it's a star, even if it's a sun, it has come into existence at a certain time, it has to come into non-existence at a certain time. So long as you think of yourself as a body, mind and intellect system, you are bound to be on the seesaw of bad and good, happy and unhappy, so on. So once you dare to dissociate with that, then you are in that always blissful state. Okay. Yeah?
Could you speak a little bit to the importance of seva?
What dear? Seva. Seva is one of the very, I just mentioned in passing that the whole cosmos is built on a certain rules called dharma. Dharma. Dharma means that which understands and realizes that everything in this world has equal rights as you have. It put it very mildly, very easily. everything, not only every creature, and not certainly not every human being, but everything, every creature in this, every plant, everything has equal right to live out its life in this life as the Creator allowed him to. You understand? That is really Dharma. So, when we, the one thing which we have, that this thing is seva, means to do service, to allow these creatures, to allow everybody else, anything that I can do to make that creature or that make that human being have a better life, that is seva. And that is immediately connects you to the divinity, that is because that's divine force in us which makes us do seva. Because that seva is done not with a desire for something to get out of it. Everything else we do, it is with, we expect something out of it. We want something out of it. Seva is that which we do without any expectation. It is done as an offering to that divine. I'm really, when I'm looking after that somebody else's child, or I go do some seva in the hospital or a old age home, I don't expect anything from that. But I do it as an offering to God, the divine itself, the divine in these people. So without expectation of any sort of personal reward, that is seva. So it's a very, very high idea which is instilled in Hinduism, that the more seva we do, the better we are, the higher up we go. So one of the methods of increasing our spirituality.
Mataji, the first time I heard of you was through your music, the songs to Krishna.
Oh.
And you've given us so much wisdom. I wonder if you would give us some of your singing.
Oh, that was when I was young. My voice is bad now. Yeah, you should come in the evening. We have singing every evening.
Oh, every evening?
Yeah, every evening, 6 o'clock. We have meditation. After that, we have Bhajans, actually. Yeah. But the books are there, of course. Books always are there. You can always read them. Yeah.
What are your tips on staying young?
What do you?
I see this youthful, ness to you.
Yeah, but who the you are talking about now? We've just been talking about many yous. Who's the you you're talking about?
Yes. No, the youth.
Which you? Youth.
Your youthfulness, yeah.
That's because I don't think I'm the body, mind, intellect. And that divinity never gets old.
Can you talk about Krishna?
Oh, that'll take at least a year. So, Krishna was actually a historical figure, you know that. A historical figure. He was, but he was, one would say he was, lived far ahead of his times. That's why it's very difficult to understand him. Do you mind if I just... Water break. No. So, you can't say he was superhuman. He was just totally his life is an example of how we should really live. Because he was he a Kshatriya? Was he a Brahmin? Was he a warrior? Was he a lover? Was he a father? Was he a husband? He was everything. He was when we can talk of anything, any human role, he was a perfection of that human role, which is very difficult to, none of us, we can't really copy him. That's Rama can be copied. Rama was the Uttama Purusha. That means we can, Maryada Purusha, Rama was Maryada Purusha. That means a human being can live according to Dharma. He lived only according to Dharma. We can maybe copy him, but not Krishna, because he is Uttama Purusha, superhuman. He was superhuman. But he did everything, and his whole way he said, as a Padma Patra Mahambasha. That means like a lotus leaf in the water. The lotus grows from the dirt and muck and grime of the thing. Yet it pushes it out and opens its face to the sun. And the leaf, especially the leaf, The leaf is lying in the muddy, murky waters of the thing. But you can try to wet it how many times you pour water over it, the water is simply fall away. And it's still be in its pristine state. So that is a beautiful example of his life. He lived life to the fullest, but it didn't affect him. He was still pristine. He was always established in his inner self. And the other was always like an actor. We're all really actors. We play out the drama of our lives on the little stages of our own making, strut about and boast and do so many things. But we do it with the idea that we are this body intellect. He didn't have that. He did everything as always connected to that. It's not easy to understand. His life is much more difficult than. That's why even in Sanskrit you don't find one book totally giving his life. Like we have of Rama. We have Ramayana gives the whole life. In his case you don't find it. Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish you had known when you first started the spiritual path?
Oh, so many things I wish I knew. I wish I knew a lot of things, oh sure. Yeah, because, you increase in knowledge, hopefully everybody has, you gain as you age. Some people don't, they become worse as they age, but they become more demanding and more this thing and more selfish. But if you're really, spiritually inclined, automatically that should come when you go older. Automatically you should, and then of course you wish I was like that, but it just doesn't work that way. Nature works slowly. You can't make a rose bud suddenly bloom like that. The bud has slowly bloom. Nature works like that. So that's, but if we learn each lesson, each step, each class we go through our life, we learn it well, then life becomes an unfolding of that flower, instead of drying up suddenly in the middle. So definitely, I'm sure I wish I had known all these things when I was, but that doesn't work that way. There is a time for everything. There is a time. Unless, of course, you're a avatar or a Siddha Purusha who has done a lot of, back yoga in a previous life, and has come and like we see so many of our great souls in India, for instance, great saints, they must have done great things before, because very immediately they come, like Adi Shankara, 32 years. What did he not accomplish? If we live 132 years, we will not accomplish as much as what he did in his life. So these are Siddha Purushas, those who have already accomplished in their previous life. They have come here only to teach others. Yeah?
How do you awaken devotion?
Devotion. What is devotion, first of all? In Sanskrit, the word for devotion is bhakti. Bhakti. Now, in English, we have only one word, love, 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 love. I love my neighbor, I love my children, I love my wife, I love my car, I love my dog. But the nuances of love are different. Different types of people invoke different types of love, isn't it? So, love for God is known as bhakti. Love for God is bhakti. So, how you are asking how to invoke bhakti? Now, bhakti also is a type of love, isn't it? So, how would you invoke love in another person? You have heard about him, you like him and you want to. Then you try to find out where is he, you try to meet him somehow or other, ask some friend, do you know that chap? I quite like him, then you go and find out. Then you find his WhatsApp number, or he, usually it's back. And then you try to write to him and this and so on, this goes on. You're constantly keeping in touch, in other words. If you don't keep in touch, it will fail. So you constantly keep in touch with God. Then bhakti grows. Okay? Same as ordinary physical love, let's say, or rather worldly love. Yeah.
I see you have Yogananda on your altar.
Yeah.
And you were talking about avatars a second ago. Could you talk about what it means to have a guru who's not in the body anymore, and relating to that. And
It's
what that
much
means.
easier actually. Because sometimes gurus can be demanding when they are alive. But these great souls, they are always there, like the gods. They're just like the gods. They have a place of. So many things are going around this world is an amazing thing. Like if you watch your skin or a leaf with a microscope, you see a lot of other things. So many different types of energies going on. So these are also great energies. Some of these great souls, they choose to remain in this level. They can really go to Rishi Lok or whatever Lok they want to go to, but they choose out of compassion. They choose. So how do you get hold of them? You have to invoke them. Just like the deities, you have to invoke them, ask them, please bless me, please help me. And they're all very keen on helping sadhaks. They're all very happy. They all want to be called. They all want, because that's why they're hanging around this thing. They are ever ready to help any aspiring sadhak. So have no fear, call on them, ask them, please help me, and they will definitely help. Anything more? Is that it for the day? Yeah.
Como le hago para amigas que quisiera que le guste más la meditación, todo esto con la
Me preguntaban si no es por ahí. Well, I have a question and it's related. No, I was thinking that we are looking for something, and that is inside, I understand. But in some point, also, we have something to do in this world for others, like build a channel. But how we know that we are doing what we have to do it? And also she's asking how she can do it, but her daughter be more on meditation, likes more the meditation.
She wants to do more meditation.
She wants her daughter, how she can
Daughter?
change her daughter.
Well, a teenager?
Yes.
Very difficult. There are certain ages,
She's more like more in the religion.
Certain ages, we all pass through that. Especially coming from a mother, she won't like it. They're very rebellious at that age, the teenage, because the whole inside mechanism is all in a very, very terrible state. So they will be very, very averse to advice from a mother. Try to get some other person or some book or something, casually leave it in their way, or ask them to go into somewhere so that they don't suspect that you are trying to manipulate them, that they don't like it. At that age, it's very difficult. So you better get somebody else. Then they will, slowly they might take it. We have actually 2 books called The Hindu Way of Life, That is just meant for children actually. But you can't say what will trigger them. It has to be done, I think, better through some other person rather than yourself. They were very anti-mother's advice.
I think you're going to go ahead first.
I think Lucia's question was, how do you know if what you're doing in your life is what you're supposed to be doing? Yeah.
I thought it was something to do with children. And wasn't that something to do with children?
No, hers was, she was doing her question and her question.
So
her question is...
Double question, okay. Yeah. So what did you want to know? What is it?
She wants 2 for 1 special.
Okay.
So,
what was it?
how do you know if what you're doing in your life is what you're supposed to be doing?
This is a very basic thing. We all of us have something called swadharma. Swadharma. Swa means mine. Dharma means, I told you, the basic law of this thing. So each one has they have a cosmic dharma, there is one cosmic dharma, which everybody is equal to all, applicable to all creation. But each one of us have our own swadharma. Swadharma, that means you are a mother, you are a wife, you are a friend, you are going in the office or something. All that you have to do well because it's your Swadharma. Anything that you are a couple of in this life, that is your Swadharma. Now, Bhagavan also says that if that Swadharma should be according to your Swabhava. Swabhava means your natural born qualities, natural characteristics. So, if you are a very, very shy and very sweet and very, this thing, and you want to enter the army, that is not the correct way for you. Okay. So, when you do something which is according to your Swabhava, you will do it very well. So, it's a very simple thing that he says. Your Swadharma should be according to your Swabhava.
How we feel it.
How you respond to it. So, because most people you don't do this, they have, they go and sit in an office from morning till evening only to get money because the salary is high. They don't think, am I happy in this job? So it's very important. If you're happy in that whatever you're doing, then that becomes an offering, that becomes a puja to God. Really. So all these things like a mother, the wife, and the friend and so on, that should be according to your Swadharma. You should do it because you're happy to do it.